On this week's Upgrade, we lift the lid on LEDs. Kate has a surprise announcement from one of you, and it's Q&A all the way on the Upgrade from MAGFAST. Hello and welcome to the Upgrade, weekly live on tape from New York from MAGFAST. Someone wrote in and said, "You're not live." No, it's 95% of television live. We're live on tape. We put something together, and then we stream it live. Live on tape from New York. It's the Upgrade from MAGFAST, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the fantastic feedback. Kate is joining me. Are you there, Katie, on the internet, on the Zoom?
Yes. Hello.
With a little time delay. Fantastic feedback from these we call them shows, and from these updates, from these weeklies already. I know you've been getting a lot of them into customer service, so thank you so much for your feedback and for your suggestions and comments and improvements and so on. And we're here because we really are, at last, after this long journey with COVID, coming right not in the middle of it, but right at the end of it, in the sort of final phase towards shipping. And this is we wanted to get kind of closer to you, answer your questions in more detail as we move into this final manufacturing and shipping phase. It's still a ways off, but we are now in that final phase. So thank you so much for being a part of it. In the Upgrade each week, part of the idea is that we're going to be sort of upgrading our game, give you, as I say, deeper insights into what we're doing, and where we can deliver sort of business information that maybe would be helpful to you. So maybe some tips and tricks and some mistakes that we've made along the way. Just wait till I get started on credit card processing. You're going to need to be sitting down the week we talk about that. I also want to remind you, please, if you haven't already, click on underneath the window in which you're watching this. There should be a button to add September the 10th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, to your calendar, because we have some major and exciting announcements coming then. And if you or you have friends and family who love entertainment, the Netflix, the movies, all of that, the Spotify, the iTunes. Does it sound old-fashioned to say "the" in front of all of these, Kate? Does that make me sound?
Yes, it does.
It makes me sound my age. So cut out the. And if you're looking forward to traveling again, or if you're just feeling really curious about what we're up to, September the 10th at 4 p.m. As a quick reminder, we are going to be maintaining, we've just got it up, it's very early days, but we've got a page up at magfast.com/status, where we're going product by product, explaining what's going on, the challenges we've had with it, and as the more detailed timeline builds out, we're going to build that out there. All right, this week, what is our topic for this week? As if I don't, that's what they do on the television, they go, "So what is it this week, Katie?"
We are talking about LEDs.
LEDs, which we have branded LED-licious, which sounds a little cute, I admit, but it's because we've put so much work into it. Now, I asked Kate before we started to pull out some questions that folks have been asking about the LEDs. Shall I do a little run around on the LEDs first, and then we'll ask them? Because maybe, yeah, you know what? Let me show you what I've got, Kate, and have the questions on standby, and then I can flesh out anything that I miss from the main description. Is that good? Okay. Is that good? Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
That's perfect. So
here's your basic, your standard. Remember when we first presented MAGFAST to you? This was the first one we showed, MAGFAST Life. We said it's going to have 10 LEDs on the front. How hard can it be to do the LEDs? And they'll just show you how much charge you've got. And then when we started to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into it, obviously we wanted every part of the experience to be amazing. And then there's also, if you're doing Qi wireless charging and you're getting certified, which a lot of people don't bother to get the certifications, but if you're getting certified by the Wireless Power Consortium, they have this long and insanely complicated list of qualifications, things that you have to do, things that you have to deliver through LEDs or other methods. In other words, charging has started, or the coil can see your thing. Okay, it started charging your thing. Oh, there's a problem with charging your thing. Oh, it's finished charging your thing. There's all these things very reasonably that they want communicated. Here, I think, is the thing that is a little bit silly. They don't tell the manufacturers how to do it. They just say that they must be done. And that's why everything that you have blinks and flashes in different ways because they've met the requirements, but there wasn't a requirement about color or cadence or anything like that. So we thought, as we worked on it, this is an opportunity to really, upgrade the whole LED experience. So as we worked on the LEDs, what we decided to do was we have 10 along the front, like this. And what we decided to do was, rather than just using the 10 to kind of show a level, what we would do is we would use the 10 to show a level, but we would then use the individual ones to refer to the different charging ports, okay, the different places that you can get power out. Now here on Life, there is, let's count them up, the different ways you can get the power out. You can get power out from your Qi wireless, right? You're going to put it like that and place your phone straight on top. You can plug, I've taken the cable out here. You can plug into the old USB-A there. You can plug into the USB-C there, where our little cable goes into there. You can also get power out through the MAGFAST connection. And so each of these is allocated an LED along the button, right? LEDs, Kate, right? LEDs 1, 2, 3, 4 for all of those different types of power out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No. Oh. Because, let me tell you why. Because we have a whole series of different products, some of which have this port, some of which have that port. And we figured that for you, because most folks, and this is astonishing, we don't know of any other charger company that's done this, but most folks have ordered 6 chargers from us, right? And so they've got, within that, they've got 4 with batteries in, some of which have, we've got Rode plugs in the car. You've got Life you're going to have in your pocket or your handbag every day. Extreme with all of those outlets. And what we wanted was that when you're, because if you're like me, your brain is not so good. And so what you want is that if you learn that LED number 1 means this one, you want it to be the same on all of the products. So what we've done is that we've consistently applied the numbers across the products, and then if a product doesn't have that particular one, then that LED doesn't do anything on that device, but at least you get, but what happens is that you get used to it. This, and we'll get, here's the thing, I know already, right now, not you, but some other people, they're typing in the email saying, well, that's not how I would have done it. Because the thing is, it's a design choice. It's one of the hard choices. It seems odd, doesn't it, to have a product where LEDs 1, 3, 7, and 9 are being used and the others aren't. In that capacity, they'll all be used to show you how much charge. Lot of decisions to make. Now, the other thing that, again, became like, it's only when you dig into it you realize how tough it is let's think about the different jobs that these LEDs have to do. They have to do all the things I just told you about. Are you charging? When are you charging? Oh, I missed out the speed of charging, so if something's charging quickly, that needs to be indicated versus slowly. So we need to indicate all of those things on each individual LED. Then as a collection, they need to be able to show you how much power have you got in your device, right? Because you want to check and see, do I need to charge it? Have I got enough? They need to show you the level, and then you also need to know when it is charging. Okay, so we're trying to do a lot of things and keep it really delightful and really simple. So I'm just going to show you, if we can bring up my my screen here. I've got my computer here. I want to bring up, excuse me, put the eyeglasses on. I want to just show you one of the tests we did. We didn't actually go with any of these. Let me explain what these columns are. Column A is one idea for how we might achieve all of this. B is a second idea, C is a third, D is a fourth, E is a fifth, and then the 3 rows top to bottom are different speeds of charging. So you've got 5 watts, 10 watts, and 18 watts of charging. And let me just play this, and you'll start to get an idea of what we're up against. So here's a bunch of different tests, and if you look at, I don't know, look at the very middle one, C, and the middle one. What that experiment is it's saying, if you look at, just focus your eyes, in fact, let's zoom in now, on C in the middle there. You can see that there's a 50% charge, so that's steady. And then do you see that there's a kind of up and down movement, which, remember, this is just a film simulating it. There's an up and down movement, which consists of LEDs going on and off. And what we're doing is, in the top half, where the LEDs are off, we're using a lit LED, and at the bottom half, where the LEDs are already lit, we're turning it off to try and get... So it's just one of the experiments, and if you cast your eye from left to right, you'll see a whole load of different designs going on. Just come back to me, attempting to give you this really, really clear sense of what's going on. So please stick with me, because I'm going to show you the final result in a second, because if you're a human, you're brain is probably a little, Kate, right, a little full after looking at all of that. So let's break it down. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? So let's break it down a little bit to where we eventually got to. If you look at my screen now, I want to show you, here's the first thing. It's stationary at the moment, but this is a 60% charge level, okay, which is easy enough to understand, right? You're going to touch the button. You see the button in the top half here? Boom, boom, boom. You're going to touch the button. There's a 60% charge. That's easy to understand. Now, then, if you start to charge the charger, in other words, if power is coming in to increase that 60 to a higher number, we want to show that happening. And here's what we came to, okay? Do you see how lovely and easy to understand this is? So the 60, do you see it rippling through the 60 there and then up to the top? And we played with this a few different ways. We had it going up and down, but if you look at it, it has this very gentle, it has this very sort of gentle fluidity to it.
I love it.
Yeah, which only came about because of spending hours looking at samples like that. But however, right now we're only showing 60% charge level and incoming power. That's two very important things to show, but it's not everything we have to show. Right, so now let's show a 60% charge level and charging other devices, all right? Because the thing is, you might have 60% in, but then you plug a couple of things in, right? You might be charging, 10 is the MAGFAST interface, so you might have some power going out that way. 6 here is one of the USB-C ports. So now let's see what that would look like, okay? So now you're seeing that you've got a 60% charge, and if you look really closely at 6 and 10, you can see that they're breathing in green, and that shows that power is going out on those two LEDs. All right, power's going out on those two LEDs to the devices that are plugged in there. Okay, but we're not done. Because
oh gosh,
what happens if there's a 60% charge and there's charge coming in and you've got output going out on those two? I'm not even showing you all of the things we had to do here, but I'm just giving you a feeling for why this stuff is complicated. So here's what happens when you put it together. Okay, you can see you've got a permanent 60 showing, so you know what your charge level is. You've got that ripple effect going on, so you can see that power is coming in. And then if you look at 6, you can see the speed of the green moving there. It shows you that there's charge going on there. And you look at the 10, you can see that there's power going out through port number 10, which is the MAGFAST connection. And so one final thing that puts it all together, I've got it in another little QuickTime video for you here. Where is it? Here we go. All right, let's put all of this together, okay, and go to Starbucks where they've got one of these wireless charging mats. All right, so let's play the whole thing together. So first of all, you touch on the power and you get the power lights up. So let's touch it and boom, you can see you've got a 60% level there. You see that, Kitty? Yeah?
Yes, I do.
Now we put it onto the power mat. We've got 60% level and we've got power coming in. Right? Now we put your AirPods on top and we're charging those with Qi wireless charging. You can see them charging on port number 1 there, and there's power coming in and there's 60. And now using PD power delivery, the new latest method, we've just plugged a phone in on the top there. All right, that's on port number 4, charging fast and green. Do you see that? All right, and the slower charge for the AirPods wirelessly on port number 1, and the 60%, and there's power coming in. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we do LED-licious. LED-licious. Okay, so we're very excited about that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You never think that it would take that much work.
Indeed. So, Katie's. So let's do the following. Kate's got a couple of questions. Let's answer those about LEDs. Then we'll play you our little LED film that we love, and then we'll wrap everything up. So, give me some LED questions, Kate. And so, maybe I covered them just now, but let's see what you got.
Okay, you may have. Also, my laptop is over here, so if you see me looking this way, that is why.
That's okay.
Okay.
Mine's over here.
So, wonderful. So this is a question from David. This is a very common question.
Hi, David.
He asks, how long will the LEDs stay on?
Oh, it's a good question. Yeah. So if you, when you touch, so we touched it. We touch on the button here. Boom. It comes on for 1 minute. What it does is it comes on for 1 minute, and puts the LEDs on to show you where you are, and turns on all of the circuits. Right. So you can touch, and it shows you where you are, and it gets everything ready, so you can then plug things in. If you don't plug anything in, It all shuts off after a minute. We went backwards and forwards on how long it should be. We felt like 1 minute is plenty of time to turn it on, see the level, and then go, oh, I forgot my thing, where is it? I left it in the bathroom, go get it, bring it back and plug it in. We thought anything that was turned off quicker than that risked too often that you would think you were charging and you weren't. So we settled on 1 minute. That's the answer to that one.
Okay. I have another one. This one is from Tom. He asks,
Hey, Tom.
what color will the LEDs be?
The color temperature that we've specified when because there's a few different colors going on, right? We didn't talk about red, by the way. If something goes wrong, we have an animation somewhere where someone puts a kind of a spanner or a spoon or something down on top of it. So you've got metal in the area and the electronics detect it, but they know they can't charge. You then get you're going to get a flashing red for that. But the two colors that we showed just now are white and green. All right, the green you can see is going to be a nice kind of sort of soft, calming green that's going to breathe in that beautiful way. The white we're specifying as what you would know from your home as being a warm white. That's 2700K. 2700K. And by the way, if nobody's ever told you this before, write that down. When you're buying lamps for your home, for most people, for most things, 2700 is that nice warm, like the old-fashioned light bulbs. That's the color of the old-fashioned light bulbs. So homes tend to feel nice like that. If you're in a kitchen or a work area, you may want to go a slightly higher K temperature than that. But if you're up at 5,000 and 6,000, that's outdoors. Or like a little. We've got a little, as I showed you the other week, we've got a little sort of homemade studio here, and we have slightly whiter coloured lights for that. Yeah. So 2,700. Yeah.
So I actually ordered warm white light bulbs the other day that were 2,700, and I didn't really realize this until I researched it. So now that makes complete sense.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you did. Most people don't ever bother to research it, and that's why sometimes you go to people's homes and it's kind of like there's like a funny sort of very white light in a corridor or something, and or a restaurant or a takeout or something, because they've just got the wrong color bulb. 2,700 is the one that's most comfortable for most of us most of the time indoors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next.
Okay. Alrighty. I have a question from JP. He says,
JP?
would it be possible to have one click turn on the LEDs and then a click that turns on all connections?
We sort of kind of covered that. So the answer to his question is yes, it could be, but I felt like we want to make these so that one of the goals with MAGFAST stuff is that you can lend it to your friend, to your mum, to your dad, to anybody, and they don't have to have an instruction manual come with it. So that's where we've got a classic, how well you can see it, but a classic on symbol on here, so you kind of want to go like that, and it's on. So we could have made it 2 taps. We considered making it 2 taps. We just decided, one, the LEDs use very, very, very little power. That's one of the points about LEDs. So keeping it all on for a minute uses very, very little. So we just thought, why not make it super simple? Why not? Too many of the devices that we have, you're kind of pecking around trying to figure out how does this work. Yeah, but you know that all the time where you've got, this thing doesn't work, and you talk to a friend and it turns out it works just fine. You didn't know how to use it. We wanted to make it that you kind of automatically and intuitively knew how to use it. So single tap turns it on, and then it knows when it isn't in use. It'll turn itself off, and it'll turn off after a minute if you don't plug anything in. So yeah, we could have done 2 taps. We did 1 because we think it's simpler.
Okay, I have one more question that you already touched on, but I'll ask it just if you want to reiterate. This is from Mark.
Hey, Mark.
He says, is there any way to tell the charge state of the power bank from the LEDs?
Yeah, we kind of covered that. So touch it, and it'll go up and show you the level. We had 6 in those examples that you saw. Well, except for that first screen where there were dozens of examples, but we saw it happening there. You do a single touch, and it'll light up the percentage. So if it's 6 out of 10, 60%, 9 out of 10, 90%, and so on. Yeah. All right. So if that covers all the questions, just because we put a lot of effort into it and it's gorgeous, let's just play our LED-licious film for you now. MAGFAST's patent-pending LED-licious system represents a radical rethink of how all our products clearly communicate with you. We've taken the time to design a simple system of LEDs that tell you everything you need to know in a simple way that you may notice you already intuitively understand. First, gently, firmly touch the on symbol to turn your charger on and see exactly how much power you've got. Each LED has a number, so 8 white lights means an 80% charge. Easy. And each charging outlet is also numbered, and as you use it, the matching LED breathes in a gorgeous, glowing green. Look, charging. Faster charging, always just right for your device. And as charging completes, it safely slows until it stops. When the time comes, no matter which of the many ways you choose to charge your MAGFAST charger, your LEDs dance continuously so you know you're getting the charger you want. The MAGFAST LED-licious system. Simple, beautiful, intuitive. So that's it. You can see how excited we are about the LEDs and LED-licious. Thank you for those questions, Katie. Is there anything else we need to cover this week?
Yes, it's not a question, but we got an email from a longtime amazing supporter, and he actually wrote a book. So I would like to read part of his email.
I remember this. This is Robert Reisler. I hope you're pronouncing it correctly there, Robert. Right?
Yes.
And it's he wrote us a really nice note. You've got it right there?
Yes, I do.
You got that. The Four Myths is the name of the book, and read the letter, and then we'll do something in a second.
Okay. So he says, Dear MAGFAST family, I have worked over 13 years on a novel that is releasing July 14th, finally. I dreamed of writing a hit novel that people could love. I may actually have done so. The pre-launch release readers have been saying things like, it's the best apocalyptic thriller since Stephen King's The Stand, best book I've read this year.
Whoa. Since Stephen King, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. That's quite an accolade. Yeah. I'm sorry. Carry on.
It's okay. It sounds amazing. Best book I've read this year, and you have to read this book. Great books and first-time authors only get known via their own marketing and word of mouth, and this book appears to be a book that could truly entertain and stick with readers if I can only get the word out there. Robert Reisler.
Okay, well, I hope in some small way we're helping you, Robert. You've supported us forever. Thank you so much. If you have a project going on, we can't cover everything, but Robert's been with us for a long time. God bless you. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up here. Stay on for 1 minute at the end. He's got this great promotional video that he and the publisher have put together, and it's a real kind of, in a world type of thing. Actually, I've got the microphone up here. Hang on. It'll be like this. It'll be like, in a world. Hear that? All right, come on, out of the way. All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for being a part of MAGFAST. We'll see you next week. Say bye, Katie. We'll see you next week for the upgrade from MAGFAST.